right? We're supposed to be like animals. Like we're animals. We shit and we poop and we pee. Like I've been given this example recently. Let me try it out on you and tell me what you think about it, right? Here's my new argument. It is, when you get a dog from like a dog breeder or a veterinarian, they give you like a whole list, or when you get your dog and take it to the vet, they give you a whole list of things that like this dog needs. You're like, it needs this food, it needs this water, it needs like fucking bathe, it needs trimmed, its toenails need trimmed, it, you know what I mean, it needs motherfucking, you know what I mean, this much love and affection, you can't leave it alone this time, you're gonna have to give it this much discipline and potty train it, and you know what I mean, you're gonna have to like, you know, paper train it or kennel it, you know what I mean, it's gonna need this much room to run, and like a lot of places now are literally like they're doing checks to make sure that you have space for it and you're allowed and all this type of stuff, right? And like we don't do this with humans. We don't care about humans enough to have that basic structure of going, you're a human, so you're going to need this much love, this much affection, this much family, these people around you, this much, you know what I mean, time, or you're going to need this much food, you're going to need this kind of food, you need to fucking have this in your diet. We don't like, and dogs, they separate dogs out. This is the thing. Here's the thing, they separate dogs out by like Cocker Spaniels versus a Shepherd versus a Rottweiler versus a Pit Bull. Like, they all have their own diets of what they're good for, right? And what they need, like what's wrong with them. As humans, like, we think that we're beyond this.
But here's the irony of it. Those responsible, remotely responsible for that type of thing, like social services, do almost the absolute opposite of that.
Yeah,
it's like what you're saying, like what we should do, like the things that we should have information about. Those responsible, like you know, social services never really. It's never.
Well, think about this with the coronavirus, right? Think about this with the coronavirus. Like the number one thing that was wrong with the that they listed that was a problem. If you might have a problem with the coronavirus was if you were fat. And there wasn't one conversation about motherfuckers losing weight or eating better.
Yes. Any and all of it. Any aspect of it. Like people with heart disease. Well, guess what? Why don't you just try doing something to improve the conditions of your heart disease by exercising a little bit, by cutting out certain things that are gonna inflame certain parts of it. No. They're not saying that. They're saying, well, just don't do anything until you're almost
like stay dead. In your home and don't leave.
Don't do anything. Wait till you're on your deathbed, then
call for an ambulance.
Then you go to the hospital and they'll take care of the rest of it for you. It's just kind of, well, you know,
like we don't care about ourselves as creatures, right? As biological entities, we don't give a fuck about ourselves.
And wait, Tom. If you said anybody, like told anybody, you should probably have some more, more citrus, maybe take some vitamin C, just to up your immune system a little bit.
How about this? Crazy. Maybe you should eat a fucking salad. Like, how about you, put the Doritos down. Like,
Tom, here's a fucking crazy thing, Tom. Here's a crazy thing. I've gone through a lot of health people and shit like that. The raw food people in New York. I knew all those fucking guys in early 2000s and shit like that. And I know a lot of these people. Like, I know David Wolf. I knew David Wolf before he was fucking David Wolf. When he was just some dude in Manhattan fooling around trying to get laid. I knew that guy. Dude, it's like he is now, and he's a big health guy, raw food guy, this and that. Guess who he is now? He's a anti-vaccine conspiracy theorist. Nobody ever would have considered David Wolf like that before. He was just some kooky, fruits and berries and nuts raw food guy. And it was just like, and the people that were just like health people are being called crackpots now by promoting healthy, like health, well-being.
Doing
things to take care of yourself. Oh, you must be a crackpot anti-vaxxer. No, I just would prefer to be healthy. I'm sorry. I don't
this is kind of the point, right? Like, this is kind of the thing when it comes down to it, is that, like, legitimately, we as human beings
there's so many people in my life. Tom, there's been so many people in my fucking life that I go on about the stuff that have been going on for my whole life. about the medical industry, that they're not helping people. They don't want to help people. They want clients. And it's the same thing you're talking about with the capitalism. When they allowed capitalism to make its way into medicine, it is the end of life. It is the end of
we had this conversation earlier about the pills, right? And I literally told you some shit where you're like, fuck, right? Because I was like, listen, you know what I mean? Like, opioids make you more motherfucking
make you more sensitive.
More sensitive to pain. Right? Legit. I was like, I know all these fucking heroin addicts.
I'm gonna send you that article. But dude, I'm gonna send you that article. It was about narcotic bowel syndrome, because my mother was dealing with a lot of that, with a lot of pain.
Yeah. Like I know about this.
What you're talking about. I'll send you that article. It's unbelievable. It's a footnote in this whole thing. There's a little footnote, and it was University of South Carolina, and they're like, we did this in-depth study. Opiates make the nerves more sensitive to all pain. Every little nerve in the body gets more sensitive.
Right, so literally, it's not like the thing is with opioids is the motherfuckers think it's like an addictive substance just because your body wants it. It's not, right? That's not how that shit works. It's because when you take opiates and then you stop taking opiates, you end up in pain constantly. Right, and so we're literally not able to treat this disease at all because we don't have any idea what it's actually doing.
Yep. And the misconception is that they need to increase dosages because people are becoming their bodies are becoming more resilient to the drug, and it's not that
more resistant.
Becoming more sensitive to the pain.
Yeah,
and the drug's still always going to do the same thing. But then after it's done doing that thing, it's like you're a lot more raw to whatever it is that you were.
Yeah. I know. I've known tons of heroin addicts where literally like I have a buddy of mine, fucking, my best friend, and literally we used to scrap, you know what I'm saying? Fucking probably 4 or 5 years ago, we would rock, you know what I mean? We'd fuck around, whatever, right? And now I punch him in the arm and the motherfucker's writhing in pain on the floor, and I didn't get any stronger, right?
Yeah.
Legit.
I know what you're saying.
This motherfucker here, he got on that dope, you know what I'm saying? He became hooked on heroin and shit, and now everything to him is just intolerable.
Mm-hmm. Unless he's high and he ain't feeling it.
Yeah.
At that moment, when it's right there at that moment.
Yeah, and now he has all of a sudden he has chronic back pain. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's gonna have chronic everything pain.
Yeah.
Eventually. And guess what they're gonna call that? Tom? They're gonna call it fucking fibromyalgia. Motherfuckers. No, that's what they fucking call it, bro. And then they give you neural shit that fucks up your entire neural system because you got fibromyalgia. They give you Lyrica. Your entire fucking neural system gets destroyed by fucking Lyrica, and then you wind up getting fucking Parkinson's, ALS, or whatever the fuck it is, and you wind up going to hospice, and then they kill you because you out of fucking money. They juice you until you got no more money left, then they dope you full of medicine and then kill you. That's
I'm telling you, right? Legit, we are not, and this is, no, but what this is a fundamental misunderstanding of human fucking beings, right? This is not some shit about you know what I mean, fucking the structure of how we do fucking how we pay for medicine. It has nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
it has everything to do with us as a people.
It's not about it.
No. It has everything to do with
I know what you're saying.
No. It's the same thing as the measurement of how good the government is doing is GDP number go up. That's the entire measure. Has nothing to do with how's our communities, how's our infrastructure, how's our people, right? Are they healthy? Everybody? Right? Is everybody okay? Yeah.
How many suicides are we having these days?
How many motherfuckers are
out windows?
How's alcoholism?
That's the thing. China's a perfect example. They're at their peak with their economy. The numbers were great. People were jumping out of fucking windows because the conditions of the people was China's doing excellent. No, China's not doing excellent. People jump out of fucking windows. And this is before all this stuff, when it was all the Foxconn shit. You remember that, all the Foxconn things. They'd have fucking nets up around Foxconn buildings to keep the people from jumping out the freaking windows at work. Because it was like you're saying, it's a dehumanizing level to where people just don't. They're like, you dehumanize people to a degree. They're just like, yeah, it's time to check out, and they're just up the fucking out the window. Because this is the thing, we're also spiritual beings.
Yeah. I'm like, yo,
don't have
there's no word to encompass all of this.
Yeah.
We literally don't have a word for this.
Yeah. And here's the magnificent part about it. It's like our spiritual connection to just who knows what, because we can't
whatever
really
it is,
explain it.
whatever
we try
it
to
is.
explain it in all different ways. When we're around animals, we instill that on the animals, and animals start to have traits. Like when you have pets, your pets start to take on human traits. Like you'll see jealousy in animals. Like if you have more than one animal, you'll see certain things that generally don't happen to animals. That we like our imprint on things are larger than we ever give ourselves credit.
Like yo,
and
we affect
the same thing. It's because of dehumanizing.
Yo, we affect each other.
Yeah. Oh, even more than. But I'm just saying, it's like our impact on things has been so mitigated in our minds by this whole, like, you're just a little, like you're saying, little cog in the wheel that's got to do just this little thing, go run around a little hamster wheel like this so that the light stays on, and here's your little little food pellet that comes out, and with a little water, a little water tab, whatever it is. It removes that from us. It removes that.
It dehumanizes us
that we are.
Right? Like no. I mean, like we literally have a fundamental misunderstanding of the human being, right? Altogether. And like for instance, pheromones. Like we don't even know what the fuck they are, right? As a whole. We have no idea what the fuck they are. But it's an absolute thing. You know why? Everybody knows that, like, when you get more than, like, fucking 2 females in a goddamn area for more than, like, a month at a time, their fucking periods sync up. Why?
Yep.
Literally. Like, we are connected on a fucking deeper level than we can possibly fucking fathom. We affect each other is kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we as human beings affect one another. On a very, on a very physical level without like even touching one another or being around each other.
Yeah.
And like, we don't know about any of this shit, right? Like we have no understanding of human beings as a whole in general, right? Like we assume that like we're all just these individual creatures that are like special snowflakes that, can, just like fucking.
That's what everybody was told.
Yeah.
But like all of that, like, when we were growing up, there was that like that little like thing that they played in grade, like that grade school kind of mentality, like, oh, you're all special, you're all little unique, like, but it's not. It's a good thing that we are unique, but there's also that connection that we have that gets drowned out by that. And what you're saying, right? That impact and influence would be like, it's almost like an ocean of consciousness, so to say. And I hate to get too like woo about it.
Yeah, I feel you, but we're in a woo area because like there's no fucking science. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing here for, like, there's no place for me and you to stand here and like talk about this on a scientific level.
And I can talk about it, and we could have a fucking conversation scientifically and explaining how all this stuff works. And it's magnetic, and it's our fucking heart. Our heart is a fucking electromagnet. People don't realize how powerful of a magnetic field that our heart creates because of the fucking. It's literally an electromagnet. You've got liquid iron with electric. It's literally a fucking electromagnet. The electric of our nerves, encased in fucking skin, which is like the casing of the wires in a coil to create an electromagnet, and you're running the electric in a coil, and you're taking liquid metals in the blood and spinning them in a helix inside the heart, and it's like it creates a big magnetic field. And that's a very influential thing. That like, it's the same type of magnetic field that the Earth has. It's the same type of magnetic field that the fucking sun has. The black hole in the center of our galaxy has the same toroidal magnetic field that our heart makes. And our brain makes a littler one, but our heart is like the big. And that's why, like, emotionally, that's why a lot of attacks are on our mental and emotional stability, as like an understanding, like you said, understanding who we are as a human and what it is to be as a human. Because we're human beings.
Look at, like, again, it's to be, right? And like again, there's literally no, but I'm saying
around the fucking
like
rat race.
But there's but again, like the measurement of how we affect each other as people, right, is not something that like we understand, right? And like it's not something that's like well studied or thought out, right? Yeah, but like we don't have the ability to do so. And like
it's not well published.
No. No. I mean like so like here's the thing, right? Like so like when you meet somebody, like, how do I put this? All right, you know how like they say like your best genetic match is oftentimes like a second or third cousin or some shit like that, right?
Okay.
Right, like that's a science. That's like a science thing, right? Like fucking they measured it out, like good. And so like there's different people out here who affect different people in different ways, right? And like having an understanding of what that is, right, is like not there because like we don't have that type of conversation at all, right? Because like we want to treat everybody as if they're like the fucking same, and we're not. Like a lot of us, like there's differences between one human and the next. And like, if you take 50 humans and take another 50 humans and you put them across from each other, right? Like who they're going to interact with is deeper than like a racial or a physical or like a fucking, you know what I mean? A fucking language level, right? It's a whole different animal. Like, and these type of like basic understandings of like the essence of what makes us and how things really operate as people, right, is not something that's understood in any way, shape, or form. And like if you take those same 100 people and feed them all the same thing, it's going to have different nutritional results depending on the individual.
Yeah.
Right. And like some of them may have the same results. Some of them some of them may have the same results just because genetically the shit that they're eating might be closer to the shit that their ancestors ate.